cold. Hope you're ready to work. Gotta get warmed up out here. It's cold. Whoa. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that shirt. Man, everyone's been really generous. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna make sure that I come back with the value that you paid for. Thank you so much. All right. I actually forgot my other phone that I use for my timer, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep up and do my timings with the exercise at the same time. All right, let's see. It is, oh, still got a couple more minutes. I'm gonna wait for anyone else that's showing up to show up. It's pretty cold out here, so I'm gonna be getting started pretty quickly. It's at the point right now, well, it's below freezing out here. I live in the Detroit, Michigan area, and it's been getting pretty cold out here. I mean, it's probably, I think it's like 25 degrees right now. And anytime it's below 32 degrees, I keep the PVC ropes inside, because with PVC ropes, if it's too cold, it could freeze up the material and it could end up breaking. So the two ropes I'm going to be using today are the RX Smart Gear Original and the Crossroad Bolt. And even the Crossroad Bolt can get a little difficult in these environments because of the handle. The handle gets very cold. But today I'm going to go over the jab step, and we're going to go through that one. Excuse me while I take that notification down. Go through the jab step. And the jab step is inspired by the video I recently did on Glenn, about Glenn from Rope Rage. There was a point in the video where he's doing the jab step and he's switching back and forth from having his left hand in front, his left foot in front to his right foot. So like this. So there's a lot of reasons why this is a good move to learn, and I'll go through them right now. Hey, thanks a lot, Tic Tac. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. I'll go into that. Thank you so much for all the support that everyone shows on the channel. I'm very grateful and humbled by it. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It means a lot. And I do my best to offer back as much value as I can, any way that I know how, with the jump rope and the instructions. All right, so I'm just gonna do some boxer steps and some shadow jumping to warm up. So join me if you're gonna do the workout. If you're not doing the workout and you're watching for the tutorial piece, that's fine as well. So I'm just gonna start with the shadow jumping. This is a good exercise to do without the rope, because you can get your coordination, but also you can get yourself warmed up, especially if it's cold outside. You're in a place that doesn't have any heat, or you're jumping outside. So in this is a detached garage that I have about 100 feet from my house, and there's no heat in here. So I have to do whatever I can to get warmed up. And this is a good way to warm up. You can do the boxer, I mean, you can do the shadow jump in a few ways. You can do the boxer step like this. You can just jump straight up and down like you're doing the basic bounce. You can do the alternate foot step. You can do the heel toe. You can do anything, really. Anything that you would normally do with the rope. But this is the move we're going to learn today. It's the jab step. So what it is it's just like if you see a fight, you see an MMA fight or a traditional boxing match. People don't fight like this with their legs equally apart like this. They go like this so that they can decrease their profile, because this is a lot easier to hit somebody than if you're to the side like this. So if you are right-handed, you would be fighting in the conventional orthodox is what it's called stance. So you'd have your left foot forward and your offhand would be the hand that you jabbed with, and then your right hand would be the hand that had probably most of the power, would be your dominant hand. If you're left-handed, or you just prefer to fight with your right foot forward, then you would be in what's called the Southpaw Stance. So a lot of people, so the most famous Southpaw would probably be Manny Pacquiao, but also other people that fight in the Southpaw Stance in MMA, Conor McGregor fights in the Southpaw, and his left hand is lethal. He can really destroy a lot of people with his left hand because he's bringing it from the back and he's constantly moving around like this. And you'll see Conor McGregor, if you see a Conor McGregor fight, you'll always see him moving back and forth and his right foot is in the front. And he's hard to hit and he's powerful because of this position that he takes. And he's got his left hand that he brings back and he uses his jab and his left hand. So the more famous fighters that fight in the conventional orthodox, you have people like Floyd Mayweather, Joe Louis, boxer from the 1930s, George Foreman, Muhammad Ali. All of those guys fought in the orthodox. They were right-handed or they were more comfortable with their left foot forward. So you'll always have your off foot forward and your main hand, your dominant hand behind you. And the way that you can practice that is by doing the jab step, like what Glenn did in the rope rage video. And one thing that Glenn does that's very good that everyone should be able to do is he switches back and forth. So he starts jumping in an orthodox stance, and then mid-jump he goes back like this. It might seem easy, but it's not easy to do because it requires coordination, and if your timing is off, you're going to hit the rope. You're going to trip over the rope. So that will be the goal at the end of this tutorial, is if you're not able to do the seamless switch like what Glenn does in his tutorials and in the rope rage video I did, you'll at least have the knowledge to be able to do that. And that's going to help your coordination, your timing, agility, everything. If you can quickly switch back and forth like that, it's going to help you, especially if I'm not a boxer, I'm not into fighting or anything like that. I just follow it, but especially if you do MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxing, regular boxing, being able to switch back and forth like that quickly is going to help you tremendously. And even if you're a basketball, soccer player, any type of athlete, it's going to help you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how this is just a form of the boxer step. So I'm going to start by doing the boxer step, and I'll start the workout. And I'll do some jumps with the boxer step, so feel free to join me here. All we're doing is we're just going to start with the boxer step, because all this is it's just the boxer step except going back and forth, not side to side. It's just back and forth. But you have one foot in front of the other, and this is what it looks like with the Southpaw Stance and then orthodox. Like that. That's what you want to be able to do. So it looks like this. One foot forward, And then the other. That's what you want to be able to do at the end of this. And this is what it looks like from the side. Before you want to do the switching, you want to be able to just get it to one side, right? So that's what we're going to practice. So whatever your dominant hand is, so if you're right-handed, your left foot's going to be forward. If you're left-handed, your right foot is going to be forward. And that's how we're going to do the jumping. So you just want to start. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do the conventional orthodox. Just start by going back and forth like this. And keep the rope. You can keep the rope in your hand, but don't jump. And get used to doing that move. Just like you see Muhammad Ali, if you watch an old Muhammad Ali fight, you'll see him dancing back and forth like this. This is all it is. Just go back and forth like this. You don't want to bring the rope into it yet if you're not familiar with how to do this move, because you just want to be able to get the movement down first. Now for my left-handed people, I'm going to switch to the right. And when you switch, you just switch mid-air. So you go like this. Now I'm in the same stance as someone like Conor McGregor, Vasyl Lomachenko. He's a Southpaw fighter. Manny Pacquiao. Now I'm in the same stance as them. So you just want to get comfortable with this. Now, just because you're left-handed, you might not be comfortable like this. You might be comfortable in the other. In the orthodox, that's fine. Find whatever is comfortable for you, and that's the side that you want to stick with in the beginning. So eventually, you'll be able to go like that. The key, just like any other jump rope move, is to always stay on the balls of your feet. Always stay on the balls of your feet. If you go back on your heel doing this move, it's going to increase your chance of having a knee injury, and also you're not going to be able to move as quickly. You have to stay on the balls of your feet. So, just like that. All right. Now I'm going to start the workout. And since I don't have my timer today, I forgot my other phone inside my house. I'm just going to go through with what I think is 3 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes, and then keep going. So just follow along with me, and I'm going to start with one side. One side. So I'm going to start with the orthodox, just because I'm right-handed, and that's what's more comfortable for me, having my left foot forward. So I'll start with that, and you can see exactly what to do. You just want to rock back and forth. And also, I mean, you're not straightforward like this, you're to the side. Back and forth. You should be going back and then catching yourself on your back foot and then going forward and rocking forward, just like this. See how one of my feet is in front of the other. Now you can exaggerate and put your feet farther like this, but I just like to Put one in front of the other. Not exaggerate it too much. That was about 2 minutes of jumping there. And so that's what the jab step from an orthodox stance looks like. Remember, this is the orthodox stance where you have your left foot in front, your right foot behind, and you're just going back and forth like this. And then all you're doing is you're just adding the rope. That's it. All right, now I'm going to switch over to the cross rope bolt so that you can see the rope a little bit better, since this is a black rope and I have an orange cable here. So you'll be able to see this a little bit better, even though the handles are cold. All right, now I'm going to demonstrate what the Southpaw looks like. There's nothing different. Well, there's only one difference, and that is that in the Southpaw stance, your right foot is in front, your left foot's behind, and your right hand is forward. And you're to the side, you have a profile. You're not like this, you have a profile. So this is just like Manny Pacquiao, Conor McGregor, Vasil Lomachenko, and I think that, I can't remember who else off the top of my head. There's plenty of them, plenty of Southpaws out there. I want to say Errol Spence is a Southpaw, but I can't remember if he is or not. But Manny Pacquiao, Conor McGregor, and Lomachenko are all Southpaws. So this is what they look like. If they would do the jab step, this is what they would do. And you can even, on the channel, you can see the video I did about Manny Pacquiao's jump rope style. You'll be able to see that his right foot is forward and his left foot is back slightly. And he's a Southpaw. That's how he fights during his boxing matches. So now I'm going to demonstrate what it looks like on the other side. And the most important thing here is to, even if you are more comfortable in the orthodox like most people are, it's important to learn the opposite as well, so that you can, both sides can be strong. All right, let's do it. So this is not as comfortable for me, but I still practice it because I want to be strong on both sides. This is definitely not comfortable for me. I can do it, but it wouldn't be my choice. My choice would be to have my left foot forward and my right foot to the back. Now you can see my right foot's forward. My body is turned so that I have a profile. Now to the front. Yeah, that was about 2 minutes. All right. That's what it looks like. There's a few advantages. There's a lot of advantages actually. But whenever, it's just like if you're reducing your profile to make it harder for someone to hit you, like this is going to be harder than this. It's also good for jump rope because it reduces your width. So if you're like this, as opposed to this, it's going to be easier to get through the rope. You have less of you that has to get through the rope. So this is another useful thing. I like to use this move and switch back and forth between this move, the regular boxer step where I'm going from side to side, the heel toe, and yeah, those are the main ones. Because when you're doing jumping for a long time, it's good to switch because each time you switch up your stance, you're using slightly different muscles in your legs and in your arms as well. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate, go back to a video that I did in the past and demonstrate what Manny Pacquiao does with the, yep, keeps trying to connect to my Wi-Fi, so I turned my Wi-Fi off. So I got the Google Nest Wi-Fi, so it reaches out really far. Okay, so this is what Manny Pacquiao looks like, except he does it in the Southpaw. I'm gonna do this in the orthodox. So this is the move that he does. So he does kind of like the jab step like this. He turns to the side like that. And then he also does some of that, and then he turns back like that. This is useful to do the turn because it gives your legs, it works out different muscles, so it gives your legs a little bit of a break. So I'm just turning to my right. I'm actually using my right foot to execute most of the turn. There we go. This is a good one for coordination. That was another about 5. No, that was about 3 minutes. Yeah, I wish I had remembered my timer. All right. Now I'm gonna put the rope up. Now the time has come after that to be able to do this. Start in one and then switch to the other. it's a lot easier without the rope. Once you bring the rope into the mix, it gets a little harder. So just practice right here. 1, 2, 3, and then go back. This is what you want to be able to do. This is the goal to be able to get to be able to switch and be comfortable on both sides, even if you favor one side. This is the side I favor, but I can still switch and go over here. You want to pause and then switch over like that. I know it seems repetitive and redundant, but this is the best way to learn moves like this, is to do the movement over and over again before adding the rope into the mix. You can even pretend like you have a rope. The best thing about the rope is that it's going to highlight any inconsistencies in your timing. And the way that it does that is that if your timing is off, the rope is going to catch on your foot. So it's easy. So it's not easy to understand, or it's difficult to understand if your timing is off without the rope. So you would have no way of understanding if your timing is off just by doing this. But you will absolutely understand if your timing is off once you bring a rope into the mix. And this is what it will look like to be able to do the switch jab, go to your opposite side, just like what Glenn from Rope Rage does in his video, in his boxer step tutorial. And this is the pinnacle of the jab step. This is what you want to be able to get to with the jab step. You want to be able to switch seamlessly. So the advice I would have here is to start off in your comfortable stance. So for me, it's the orthodox stance. If you're southpaw, start in the southpaw stance, and then try to keep going back and forth. I'm gonna go for, I don't have my timer here, but I'm gonna shoot for 3 minutes, switching back and forth. I don't have an exact formula of how I switch back and forth, but I just do it whenever I feel like I can make the switch. So it's usually like 5 or 6 jumps on one side, and then mid-switch like that, switching mid-jump. And if you can control the rope and line up your rope with your switching, you're gonna master this move, and you're gonna have the timing down that you need to have. And that timing and coordination is going to be essential for whatever athletic pursuits that you're undergoing. Okay, let's start off in the conventional, but if you're left-handed, start off in the southpaw, or the orthodox, or I keep calling it conventional, orthodox. Start off in the orthodox. All right. I'm going to switch over like that. When you switch, you're jumping over the rope. It's a mid. You're switching and you're still jumping through the rope. See? That switch also adds a little bit of cardio in there. Because it takes more effort to switch than it does to stay in a steady state like this. And then you can do a double switch once you get to it. But for now, worry about the single switch, stay static like this, and then plan your next one. All right, switch. 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 See? There we go. You're going to find that it's harder to switch back to your dominant side from your non-dominant side. So if you're right-handed, it's going to be harder to switch back from the southpaw to your orthodox. And remember, you want to jump as little as possible here. The temptation is going to be to go like that, but you don't want to do that. You want to make it a quick switch, jump just high enough to clear the rope, like this. See how seamless that was? Rather than trying to see how that got out of control. But this is a seamless switch like this. See? Now that. You want to cover as little air as possible. It's going to keep your moves efficient. Because if you do something like that, not only are you going to increase your chance of injury, but it's going to take more energy. So this is what you want. And you can do doubles. Once you get comfortable with this, try doing something like this. Back and then back. Then try it on your offside if you can. So switch it. Now I'm on the southpaw. I'm not as comfortable on this side, but I'm going to try to do a double switch. See? See? Like that. Go front. See, even though I'm not as comfortable in the southpaw stance, I can still do that. Would I rather be on the other side? Absolutely. But doing the stuff that you're not comfortable with is going to help you. Not only with jump rope, but it's going to help you build the confidence that you need. So let's do it. The key here is you've got to stay on the balls of your feet. If you don't stay on the balls of your feet, there's no way that you're going to be able to do this move. Now I'm going back. Now I'll go back to the regulars. Switch. And then once you do those double switches, it's going to be a lot easier to do what I'm doing now, to stay static and then switch back. Try to do it quickly, like this, see? Try to go quick. See? Now I'm in my comfortable state here, so I can go. Just want to go back and forth, see? Like this. I'll switch over to the other side so you can see what I'm doing. Switch. Now I'll do the southpaw side. Remember to keep your posture straight. I started leaning forward. Keep your posture. Don't be hunched forward like this. I think that's enough for, wow, I got in the zone there and I just kept going. So that's what happens when you're having fun, I guess. Or it is what happens when you're having fun. All right, let's go back again. If you're having trouble with that move, the best thing to do is to remove the rope and to go back to the basics. So this is the basics. Start off where you're comfortable. That's rule number one, is if you're having trouble getting it on the side where you're most comfortable, or you're most comfortable, you want to start on that side. So if you're comfortable like this, just like I am, with my left part of my body forward and my right back, you want to start like that. And the reason is you want to be able to get it, and you're going to be able to get it more quickly on the side you're most comfortable with, so you can build your confidence, and so you can actually get the move down. You understand what it feels like to get the move before you try to do anything fancy, like going to the other side or doing the quick switches like that. You want to take it step by step in increments. You don't want to rush to the most advanced part and then have trouble with it and then get frustrated and discouraged. So we'll go back. We'll start off. Remember, you just pretend like you have the rope, and you're moving just like you would see Muhammad Ali, George Foreman. I'm trying to think of other orthodox fighters. Mike Tyson. Who else? Roy Jones Jr. There's plenty of them. You probably can think of ones that I can't think of right now. Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, all those guys with their left hand and left part of their body forward and right back, and they're just moving back and forth like this. So just watch videos of those guys. Joe Frazier is another one. Just watch videos of those guys and you'll see they're doing this pretty much their entire fight, where they're walking forward like this with their left foot forward and their right foot back. That's all they're doing. So just get comfortable with this, and then you're just adding the rope in. Now I'm going to the other side and I'm switching over. So if you watch people like Vasil Lomachenko, who else? Conor McGregor, Manny Pacquiao. This is all they're doing during their fight. They're just doing something. They're just doing it probably more quickly, but they have their right foot forward, their right hand forward, and their left hand back, and their left hand back and their left foot back. And so you'll see them doing different variations of this, but they're basically doing this the entire time. They're walking forward like this. They're never like this. They might be like this for a second, but then they quickly go back to this, because they want to eliminate as much of their body as possible from getting struck by their opponent. So that's all they're doing, just rocking back and forth like this. So you go forward, push back, all by staying on the balls of your feet. So this is what it looks like in slow motion, just like this. Then you add the rope in, but it's easier to go quickly. So rock back and forth, kind of like a rocking chair. Now the switching portion of it, that's where it gets difficult. And it does get difficult because what you're doing is, when you're jumping over the rope, you're switching in midair. So I'll do it slowly. But that, when you do your switch, the rope is going under you. The rope is not disappearing from the equation. So you have to account for the rope. And this is where it's the toughest part of it, but it's also the most beneficial, because it's going to help you with your timing and your coordination and your agility. So let's go through it again. The best way to learn these moves is usually the most boring and tedious way, and that's to watch someone do it all over and over again, and then to do it over and over again. If you want to learn moves like this or like any other move, you got to be comfortable with sitting down and watching someone do it over and over and over again, and being comfortable with being bored and being okay with the mundane and the tedium that comes with it. That's the only way that I found to be able to learn more complicated moves. It's really difficult to just try to jump into it. You you really have to get your brain and your mind used to the move first, because it doesn't have the patterns and the habits and the movements ingrained in it yet, so it needs time to learn it. So the best way is usually the most simple and boring way, but it's the effective way. And that's what counts as effectiveness. All right, let's start with the orthodox. I'm gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna stay in this position. The key is to relax, just relax. And stay on the balls of your feet. You want to get comfortable with this. Once you can do 100 jumps like this on your comfortable side, on your dominant side, without tripping and without messing up, then you've mastered this move. But you mastered it on one side. I'm slowing it down. Back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Now speed it up. If you were able to do 100 of those without breaking and without tripping and without stopping to take a break, that's important too. Without stopping to take a break or without tripping, then you've mastered that side. So you've mastered the orthodox side. Now, you've mastered the southpaw side. Remember, we were doing whatever's dominant, whatever's comfortable for you. Now, here's the challenge. Go back to your non-dominant side, to the least comfortable. For me, that's the southpaw. For me, since I'm right-handed, I'm more comfortable like this. I'm not as comfortable like this. So I'm gonna go to the southpaw side. If you are a natural southpaw, then go to the orthodox side. You should be opposite of me right now. And we're gonna do 100 or so. Pretty sure I did more than 100 last time. But you get the idea. You want to master it. 100 unbroken jumps is the way that you can demonstrate that you've been able to get it enough to where you're able to move on to the next task and the next skill. All right, let's do it. Oh man, I messed up. So I got to start again. See how for me it's already uncomfortable. For me, I'm not as coordinated with this side, so I really have to think about it more, and that means I have to practice. Okay. Here we go. Remember, relax. Keep your back straight, keep your posture. Stay on the balls of your feet. Rock back and forth. I think that was over 100. If it wasn't, sorry, that's okay. I think I got it though. You get the idea. And that 100 philosophy, that comes from Buddy Lee's system. I mean, I'm not an affiliate of Buddy Lee or anything like that, but I do like to give credit to where credit's due. He's the one that teaches that, and I wouldn't teach it if I didn't agree with it. It is effective, that 100. It's a good number. It's not excessive, so it's good for people who maybe aren't as strong in the cardio sense, so that they don't get frustrated, so that 100 doesn't take very long to do, but it's also enough to where it starts creating those new movements in your brain. So that it's a great number, because you don't want to have an excessive number for a lot of reasons. It could frustrate people, it could discourage them, and also, like as I was saying earlier, it is hard for a lot of people to jump past that when they first start jumping. So they don't want to let the cardio limitations get in the way of developing the skill. Because once the cardio gets there, then you'll just be able to do, and you have the skill, you'll be able to do the skill for longer because your cardio is stronger. So 100 is a good benchmark to set to be able to get the mastery, to be able to obtain the mastery. All right, now it's time to go back to the shadow jumping and to do the switching. This is the pinnacle of the jab step, to be able to switch mid-air. To be able to switch mid-air. So you want to be able to do a couple jumps like this and then move over like this seamlessly. You want to be able to move over like this seamlessly as the rope goes under you. So as I'm going over and switching, the rope is going under me 1 revolution, or it's going under me 1 revolution. So pretend like I have the rope. See, it doesn't stop. The rope doesn't stop. That's the key. And I can't stress this enough. That's going to test how good your timing and coordination is when you do that switch. If the rope is getting caught on you, that means that your timing is off. And you want to get your timing on. But if the rope goes through you when you do your switch, that means your timing is pretty much spot on. So you're in the southpaw and then you switch like that. See? You want to set yourself and then switch quickly. Do some of these with me just so you can get the overall feeling. If you want to, you can pretend like you have the rope. I said this was the pinnacle of the jab step, but what I think is actually the pinnacle of the jab step is to be able to do the quick switches like that with the rope still going under you, being able to go like this. That's going to test your timing, but it's also going to improve your timing once you can get that move down. So it's one thing to be able to do this. It's another thing to be able to do this and not have the rope trip under you. And it's another thing to take it further to be able to do it on your offside, like this. All right. So what we'll do now is we're going to go to doing the static switching. We're not going to do the quick switches. We're going to do the static switching. So we're going to be in one stance for, 5, 10 jumps, however you're comfortable. And then we're going to switch over. We're not going to do this yet. Not yet. I've already done it once, but we're working up to being able to get this move down. So we're going to do 100 or so, and we'll just keep going. We're doing the static, the switch, and then the static. All right, let's do it. Start off, remember, to start off in your dominant stance. So if you're like me and you're right-handed, start off in your orthodox. If you're left-handed, start off in the southpaw, okay? It's always important to start off in your dominant stance so you can get your confidence going, and so you quite literally get off on the right foot. All right, let's go. Switch. 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 switch, 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 switch. There we go. Keep going. You want to get to 100. Remember. Switch. Remember, make your switches quick. Quicker. All right, nice job. That was 100. Wow, I can't believe it. Burning a lot of calories this morning. All right. Now we'll end up, it's been almost 40 minutes now. Time's gone by fast. Thanks for sticking with it to the end. What we'll do now is we'll go to the quick switches. If you're all the way to the point where you're able to do the static, so this is the static switch, jab, step, switch, where you're staying static in one stance, and then you do your switch, and then you're static again. Now, the ending and the most difficult part that I'm going to go over today is doing the switch. So just one and then back, like that. What that mimics is, that mimics a fighter switching up the stance and then going back over. So just going back like that. And if you can do this, it'll help. You don't have to be a boxer or MMA fighter. It can help you with any athletic pursuit. Football, it'll help you with football because of the quick agility-based movements. It'll help you with basketball for the same thing. It'll help you with soccer. It'll help you with tennis. Any athletic pursuit that you're trying to get better at and improve on, it'll help you with. So you want to try the quick switches. The key with the quick switching is to stay on the balls of your feet and to keep rotating the rope. Where I think that it's easy to get messed up on with this is to pause rotating the rope. You just want to keep rotating the rope. You want to keep the rhythm with the rope. Keep your wrists, don't let your wrists get in the way of what your feet are doing. Your wrists should be doing the same thing the entire time. Your feet are the only thing that's moving. So that's going to help with your timing. All right, we're going to finish off with this one. So the quick switching. So what I would recommend doing here is picking your dominant side, and then while you want to get this move down, to really get this move down, you just want to switch back to your dominant side so that you can build your confidence, so you can understand how to do the move. And then once you get 100 down with your dominant side, try doing the move on your non-dominant side. Okay? So let's go. I'm going to start with the orthodox, and we'll do our mastery here, about 100 jumps, and then we'll go into it. We'll keep going. There we go. Remember to stay on the balls of your feet. That's the key here. right, one more. Let's stop. Okay, see, the other thing about that move is that doing that quick and then back, that's going to get your heart rate up a little bit higher because it's a quick movement. So there's a big difference between staying in a steady state and then doing that, and then staying in a steady state and going like this. See how quick that is? That's going to get your heart rate up a little bit more, and you do that over the course of, I think that was 1 or 2 minutes I was jumping. You're going to be a lot more tired, which is a good thing, because it's going to be more taxing on your cardio. So that's another advantage to the quick switch. Quick switch like this, it's a lot more taxing on your cardio than this. Much more taxing on your cardio, so that's another reason to learn that quick switch. The cardio is the I think it's the factor that nobody thinks about with that one. They're thinking I mean, for me, I'm thinking coordination, timing, agility, but there's also the cardio too, if you think about it, because of the quick movements like that. It's going to help you with your cardio too. So now the last thing, once you get that, get 100 jumps with the quick switch back to your comfortable side, back to your dominant side. Now the real challenge is going to be going on your non-dominant side. So for me, that's the southpaw with the right side of my body forward. I'm not as comfortable with this side. I wouldn't go to this if I had a choice, but it's all about challenging yourself. And the only way to build confidence and to continue to build confidence and self-confidence is to do things, is to try to do things that you don't think you can do. And then it'll surprise you, because if you've been able to get to this point, then you'll probably have an easier time with it than you think, so you gotta try it. Okay, I'm gonna start off. And if you mess up, don't worry about it. At least you tried and you're trying your best. So let's do it. One more. All right. See. Now, would I do that voluntarily, or would I try to do that every time? No. Because for me, it's just more awkward. I'm right-handed, and I'm better like this. But that's okay. You can always try to challenge yourself and try to get more and push yourself to do something that you may not think you can do. That's what this stuff is really all about. You never know unless you try. So those are the ways, that was the progression. You want to start with understanding which side you're most comfortable on, and you'll be able to understand that. If you've never done this before, you'll be able to understand which side you're more comfortable on a couple ways. First is to test it out without the rope and see. Even if you're right-handed, you may not be comfortable in the orthodox stance. You might be more comfortable like this. The only way to do it is to try and go back and forth and see which feels better to you. If both of them feel equally as good or equally as bad, hopefully not as bad, but equally as good or comfortable, then bring the rope into the mix and see what you think after that. But the first step is just to be able to understand how it feels to do this move and to stay on the balls of your feet. And to be able to get 100 jumps like this with 1 foot forward. The next is to be able to do it on the other side. So to be able to switch back over, or to switch over to your non-dominant side, to get 100 like that. Because in order to do the switch, you have to be proficient on both sides. So you want to do 100 in the orthodox, no matter what hand dominant you are. You want to do 100 in the orthodox, 100 jumps in the southpaw, and then after that, you want to put the rope back down and start doing your switch after like 5 or 10 jumps. So you just want to take it easy without the rope, and then switch back like this, and do about 5-10 jumps, then switch back. And if you want to, you can pretend like you have the jump rope too. Just want to do your switch like that. Once you're able to do 100 like that, then you want to kick it up and do the quick switching. So you want to start with your comfortable side, your dominant side, without the rope, then go back. 1, 2. If you're orthodox, this is what it should look like. You can add the rope in too. Just count 1, 2 in your head. 1, 2, like that. All right. Then once you get 100 like that, the real challenge will be to switch over to the side you're not as comfortable on. For me, it's with my right foot forward. And then try to do a few of them without the rope. Like that. And then you get 100 with that. And then you have pretty much mastered this move. All right. So that's the way that I would recommend learning it. There's probably other ways to learn this move. I'm sure there might be better ways to learn it than this, but this is the way that I recommend it in slow, deliberate chunks where you're not trying to attack the entire move at once. You want to break it down into small pieces. So and you want to be able to get it without the rope, with the rope with 100 reps. And then you want to use that methodology through the entire process. Without the rope, with the rope with 100 reps. Then put the rope back down, go to the next step. Without the rope, with the rope with 100 reps. And you do that, you use that methodology throughout the process, and before you know it, you have mastered the move. And now all it's about is trying to get your cardio up to where you can do it for 4, 5, 10 minutes straight without stopping. So that's the way that I would recommend going about it. Let me see if there's any questions in the chat I'll address. This is a great move that to learn and to just keep going with. It's a really good one for coordination and timing. Once again, thanks a lot for the super chats. I really appreciate it. Shirt and Tic Tac. Hey, thanks a lot, Caleb. I really appreciate it. Mom, thanks a lot. It does remind me of the basketball moves that we would do when I was a kid. Yeah, you want to think about this stuff far in advance. Visualize it, that's the key. Visualizing the moves before you do it. Visualize yourself doing the move. It's one thing to visualize someone else doing it, but if you visualize yourself doing it, there's going to be a greater chance that you're going to be able to get the move down. Okay, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to this Saturday workout. Oh, I forgot to turn my, wow, I burned 535 calories in 52 minutes. Wow. It didn't really even feel like a whole lot of work today. That's what happens when you're having fun. Next time I'll remember my timer and I'll make sure that that's everything straight there. But, yep, see you later. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Have a freedom. Peace.